Good morning. We are live. And Joey is here. And thank you so much for your kind words, Joey. I know that I'm going to be feeling better as every day goes by. And doctor said this is a wicked one. So we'll see. Hopefully by next week, I'll actually be able to talk normal again. That would be awesome. Carla, good morning. I'm so glad you're going to use your clamshells more often. That's great. They really are so versatile, aren't they? They give us so many new opportunities, and that is so much fun. Every opportunity is a good one, right? That's the way I kind of look at it. And today, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be doing Spin Effects 7. Now, as you can see, I have needle channels in my Spin Effects. So this is a set that I got later on. I didn't get that one real early on in my ruler quilting career, if you want to call it that. Um, and I'm really not sure why. But I held off on that particular one. We all have our favorites and we all have ones that we still like, but we just like them a little less. So that's just kind of how we operate, right, girls? Debbie, good morning. I hope it's not as warm in Arizona today, but I know you guys have been struggling with it. Linda, my Michigander buddy, it's going to be a hot one. Let's just close up the house and plug in the AC, right? And Lee's here from Indiana. Good morning. Oh, Linda, my friend, just took sourdough bread out of the oven, fourth attempt to get it right. Well, you know what they say, fourth time's a charm, right? I hope that it works out for you, Linda, and please let us know how it goes, okay? Monica's here from Illinois, Durand, Illinois. Welcome. I know, Linda, I've heard that making sourdough bread is really difficult. Actually, one of the they have like a hobby place here, and one of the classes they have, and they keep going over, they keep offering it over and over again, is making sourdough bread. And I was thinking I'd like to try that someday in my spare time. So anyway, what we're doing today is just a little experiment, okay? What I want to do, and I've never done this before, guys. All right. Good morning, Linda. So good to see you from Rhode Island. You probably have nicer weather out there. Okay. So when I took my 7 out, I said, what would happen if we used every single template in the set on one design? Well, I didn't know. So I had to start drawing it out. Once I started drawing it out, I went, hey, this is kind of fun. And it's not hard to do. And what's really cool about it is as we build this design, we get to see how all of the individual templates work so well together to make something that's really spectacular. If, for example, you have a 12-inch square and you want to use one design, one template on it, this is going to do it. This is going to fill it up. It's going to make it work and it's going to be awesome. So let's see who else has come in here. Oh, hi, Kim. Nice to see you from Hotlanta. Yeah, I get that. It's hot everywhere, but you guys get it really a lot worse than the rest of us. Oh, Kathy says, oh, yeah. My voice is a little better this morning. I used some honey to help soothe it a little bit. Thank you. Oh, good. I'm so glad I inspire you, Kathy. That's what I love doing more than anything. And hi, Donna's here from North Carolina, and Susie from Arlington, Virginia. And we have got a fun one for today. I will tell you straight out, it may not be as long a session as we're used to, but we'll still get a lot done, I promise. Okay, so when I drew this out, what I did, of course, was I started with 16 reference lines. I'm not going to use all 16 on the first go round, okay? And because of the way I did this out, you're going to get some thread buildup here, but it's not going to be nearly as bad as you expect when we use um, one set of templates over and over again. Hi, Chris. Good morning. Yeah, I think my voice is starting to get better. I think things are going to move along quickly now in my hopes and dreams. It's going to be 112 in the Phoenix area today, Deb said, but it's a dry heat. That's what my husband always says. But the bottom line is it's still hot, whether it's a dry heat or wet heat, it's hot. So let's go ahead and start with our Spinifex 7, our 3.5 inch. What is nice about this is it is, of course, like most of them are symmetrical designs, so you'll only need staple tape on one side. It does have the tack hole here, so we can make our 2-inch simple circle and go around with that. If we have time this morning, let's do that. It's been a while since I've done that. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and get going right away because this might take a little bit of time. And I'm free as long as you guys are willing to hang in there with me, okay? All right, there we go. Pull that bobbin thread up. Oh, it did get quite in the center. And last night, I know a lot of you were here last night, and I was having trouble with my glider. Something was sticking on it. And I came to the conclusion that it's really because I don't have fabric on the back of my blocks. I use a very inexpensive fusible fleece. And the reason that I do that for my practice sandwiches is I'm cheap. That's one reason. But when I store them in the file folders with the templates, it's less bulky. And I don't bother putting backing fabric on here. I don't need it. And again, I'm cheap. Okay, so here we go. Gonna just there. Double check that foot height. Get those threads out. Well, I hope. There we go. Um, I still don't have it right on. There we go. I know I'll get it. Ah, Di's here. Good morning, Di. Oh, yeah. Lee's got it. Lee beats us all. 84 with 90% humidity. Storms coming. Could be severe. Lee, hunker down. Take care. And 84 with 90% humidity. That's hot. That's miserable. That's where you can't do anything kind of weather. Okay, yeah. Do anything outside before 10 a.m. or after 6 p.m. Donna, I love it. She says it's called frugal, not cheap. Yeah, I like to think that way, but my dad always said if I opened my wallet, moths would fly out because I was cheap. Oh, but dads can get away with that stuff, can't they? Okay, here we go. Our one stitch in place. We are going to do 8 rotations with the 3.5 inch. And this is again our Spinifex 7. And there we go. Get those out of the way because I don't like threads in my way. When I do my Spinifex, I do like to go from side to side. It helps to draw that fabric in just a little better. And these are things you've heard before. stitch at a speed that's good for you. Don't worry about what other people do. Take care of you and do things that work well for you. And here we go. And number 4. Now, just out of curiosity, how many of you have every set of Spin Effects templates? Tell you straight out, I do. I have some that are my favorites and some that are a little less favorite. And what I find is that if I work harder with the ones that I don't like as much, what will happen is I'll learn to like them very much. It's kind of like that 4-inch arc, my nemesis when I first started quilting with rulers. Now I absolutely love it. I try to find places to put it in my projects. You can see the thread building up. Right now, I'm still good with that. If you're using a thread that more readily blends in with your fabric, it's not going to be anywhere near as noticeable as mine is because I'm using a high contrast thread. And the reason that I do that is because I want you all to see it clearly. And truthfully, that's the only way it comes up really well on camera if you use a blender with a high contrast thread on it. Okay, so here is our 8 rotations. Normally, I would not cut this. I'm doing it because I want to take it out so you all can see it, okay? Our 3.5-inch, 8 rotations. Okay, so let's see where we're at. Okay. Wow, you guys are really amazing. Okay, Kathy says she has many sets, but not all of them. Donna is not got them yet, but she's working on it. Buy new sets every week after watching me. Thank you, Donna. That's awesome. Kim says, I wish. Linda said, I think there's only 2 I don't have because I'm not a fan of the design. And Linda, I was the same way too. Susie said she tried, but her budget stopped her. Di wishes she did. Lisa's not even close enough. And Debbie said, this is one of the few I don't have, and the coupon doesn't work. Oh, goodness. I'm sorry, Deb. I will give them an email, okay, as soon as we're done here this morning. Linda only has a few full sets. Um, Di likes this. It's a sweet little flower. You know, it is. It really is. I think that it's just a darling thing. We could do so many things with it too. And you all know one of my favorite things to do is to twist it. I'm not going to do it though, because what we're doing next is we are going to take the 5.5 inch and we are going to put it in 8 rotations that we did not use. So the first one we did on all the odd number reference lines. The second round we're going to do in all of the even numbered reference lines. Now I'm going to be honest with you guys. When I got to this point, I wasn't overly thrilled, but just stick with me because the magic is coming, okay? So back down in here. Okay. This time I am lining the template up with the bottom. I always call this the bottom. The side with the tack hole, I call the bottom because to me it just is. That's the way it's intended to be used. But of course, I'm not going to do things the way they're always intended, right? There we go. So we're going to do 8 rotations here. And look at the peak that comes up here. And you want to make sure to do your hesitation stitch or stop on that because you want that point to be nice and sharp. I'm going to go ahead and get this thread out of here. There we go. Let's take them both. It's wander on my finger. Okay. There we go. And we'll go off to the other side. Move that. I'm going to just keep switching it because it's so much easier for you all to see. I'm stuck. There we go. I stayed on track, which I got off just a little bit. In the grand scheme of things, that's not going to show. And now we're going to come this way. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I need to slow down here just a bit. It's getting caught up on the thread nest that's under there now. So now that I know that's my issue, I'm going to show you how I resolve it. Okay? When I get close, I'm going to slow down. It went in fine. Let's see what happens when we try and take it out again. Oops, I need to go this way this time. Sorry, guys. Okay, line myself up. Okay, my foot cut loose, so it resolved itself. Okay, there we go. And what I was going to do was just loosen my foot and let it fall onto the top of my fabric again. And what that does is it helps the foot to set its correct height. You can see right here now, things are going to start. Yep. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead, let it fall, tighten it down. Only finger tight. You don't have to heave on it. Nobody's going to build Arnold Schwarzenegger muscles doing this. There we go. And who wants Arnold Schwarzenegger muscles anyway? Not me. Okay, so now I've gotten outside of the snaggle there. I'm going to come here. 16 rotations when you're building will give you a little bit of a thread buildup in the center, but it's not unmanageable. See how I slowed down that time and did not have to worry about raising anything up. Take my time. It's going to want me to raise my foot up. One stitch out. Now I think I'm good. And it worked out perfectly. I think with a lot of the new machines, they will automatically raise and lower for you. Remember, I'm working on a 1950s model vintage machine. It has none of those fun bells and whistles that the modern machines have. So here we go. Just gonna take it easy. And one more stitch. There we go. And I've got 2 more, I think, to do. Yeah, just 2 more, and then we'll have the second round done. There we go. I think the key to this is taking your time, not letting it frustrate you. If nothing else, ruler work has really taught me to slow down. It really has. There we go. Now we can come back down a little bit. It's a dance that we play with our machines, but it's not a bad dance, right? Okay, so this is going to be my 16th rotation. So I'm going to need to adjust my foot to get in here. And there we go. Now we've got some nasty thread buildup here. Remember, I'm using a 40 weight thread, which is a pretty good size thread. When I do ruler work on a quilt, I try to use 50 or 60 weight because it just makes all of these areas blend better for me. Okay, that's just me. So, okay, let's see where we're at. Hi, Lois. What about when you're using some at the center and some at the pinhole? Well, Carla, if I understand what you're saying, is you would have some of them coming out from the 2-inch as opposed to all of them coming out from the center. And my suggestion would be try that. I don't know as I ever have. I'm going to be honest with you, but it's definitely worth exploring. Definitely. Lee has a few sets she's never used yet. No, hopefully we'll get you using them. Lois from Delaware is in the house. Oh, ignore the no. Okay. Hi, Lisa. I hope it's a little cooler this morning. Oh, sorry about that. Deb is totally spoiled by her bells and whistles. No, that shouldn't surprise me. Oh, thank you, Linda. Yeah, it's a pretty design already, and that's if we go no further. And right, it brings out what I love with Spinifex is that every time we add a layer, we're bringing out new secondary designs. And they can be so simple, yet they can be so cool all at the same time. So what we've got on here so far, guys, is a 3.5 inch, a 5.5 inch, and now it's time to put our 7.5 inch. And that is going to be this one right here. And with the 7.5 inch, what we're not going to do is go back into the center. We're done going into the center. Now we are going to just start building. And what prompted me to do this is that I have a project coming up. I have some 12-inch squares, and I wanted to see if I couldn't fill up a whole 12-inch square with one template. So that's what prompted this. And always be asking yourself, what if I did? Okay. What ifs? What ifs that some people say can be bad things? With ruler quilting, what ifs can never be bad things as long as I'm going to put a caveat on that because I think this is so important. Draw it out first. Don't start with an idea in your head, stitching it onto your final project. Okay. Because 9 times out of 10, when I start drawing things out, I change it. and you can change it 50 times if you want. Paper's cheap, right? So draw it out first. Okay, Linda loves that design. Carla, you're right. I think it would help with the thread buildup. You're absolutely right. I'm gonna be honest with you, it's gonna change the design totally, but that's okay. Oh, Lisa, I'm so sorry. You need to come up north and visit us, which I am so excited because I actually had one of you guys up here to visit. I got to meet you in person and it was wonderful. We had such a great visit. Ah, can't wait to do it again. So now we've got the 5.5. Here was our 3.5. Here's our 5.5. Now we're going to go with this 7.5. Okay. A little bit of traveling on that. I think we can handle it though. So here's our 7.5 inch template. And what I have done is I have set this up. I have to remember how I did them. Coming over the even numbered lines. I lined it up exactly like I would line it up if I was going to start here in the center. Instead, what I did was I started here and came around. But the reason that I lined it up this way is because it gives me a very finite, easy way to get it even as I'm going around. Okay. If I were to line it up like this, which I could, I really could, then what I would want to do is I would want to mark where the lines of stitching on the previous rotations are going to cross. I took the easy way out. I just lined it up with the reference lines that are already in place. Okay, so let's go ahead and start this. And I need to reset my foot now because we're all done with those great big thread nests in the center. Okay. Donna said everybody's coming to my house for the summer. I would love it. I would love it, Donna. I'm afraid everybody be camping out on the lawn, but I could deal with that. Elizabeth, good morning. Good morning. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, well, I'm going to make sure I stay lined up. I'm also going to make sure I'm on the right reference lines. We are going to do this on all of the even numbered reference lines. Okay, I almost got it wrong, guys. Even numbered. This just makes setting it up easy because I tend to sometimes be all about easy. And here we go. Do you guys know cough syrup comes in pills these days? I think they're finally kicking in. When he asked me if I wanted cough syrup, I said, well, yeah. And I went to the pharmacy to pick it up, and they were pills. On the upside, no codeine to make me want to sleep, which is a good thing. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to travel. Not very far, and I'm not doing it very well today. That's okay. This is practice. It's all right. Sometimes I find it a little bit difficult because I have a camera right here. Okay, so now I've traveled. I'm going to my next even numbered reference line. I am lining up. Whoops, there we go. Oh, I went up too far or not far enough. I went up too far. There we go. Had to come back about a half a stitch. So I'm lining up my vertical and horizontal lines here. And I might actually need to come back yet another quarter of a stitch. And here we go. Now, if you have trouble seeing this, don't be afraid to turn it. Okay. And this is kind of a tricky one to travel on. So you can do what I'm doing here. I'm walking my foot. Now I'm going to line my template up right here, and I'm going to continue traveling until I hit, there we go, till I hit my template. And you'll see there's another very nice little secondary design happening here. What I think my favorite part of this would be is the opportunity to template this. I haven't done a template in a while. Maybe it's time to do something with template again. Okay, so here I am. I'm stopping right here at this intersection. And then I'm going to go ahead and move my template and line it all up. Again, I'm going to get it on the right line. Guys, I don't know why I keep insisting on putting it on the wrong line. Oh, well. Okay, so basically, I'm right there. I'm right where I need to be. Isn't that awesome? Again, this is the 7.5 inch. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Now I'm going to come over, line up again. I have a little way to travel here. That's okay. It's going to be about one stitch, and that's exactly what it was. Okay, we'll go ahead and travel down, and I'm going to come across, stop at that intersection, realign. This time I've got a few stitches to get back there. That's okay. We got this, right? There we go. It is not as difficult as it looks. Just take your time and enjoy the journey. Oh, and line it all back up again. Oh my gosh, you guys, this one is perfect. I love it when a plan comes together. And we have one more to go, I think, and then we're done with this rotation. This is a very small space to travel on. So just really, really take your time. And we're coming to the end. Okay, the question is, I love the time. Do we go ahead and travel even though we don't have to? My answer is yes. And the reason that I answer yes is because I want everything to remain consistent. And every other join here is brought together. Now, the other reason is if you notice here, I lost a stitch coming out of there. That's not a big deal, okay? Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in right now. And there we go. Nobody's ever going to be the wiser that that stitch was lost in space. All right. So this is round number 3. Round number 3. Okay, let's take a look. Um, and this, I think you're right. I think cough syrup is behind locked doors these days because kids are drinking it. You know, there's a lot of alcohol. The old stuff that we used to get had codeine in it. Oh, Di says we can have a wonderful retreat and beat the heat. Okay, Linda asked a question. Which ruler holder do you like to use, the 10 slot or the 14? Is there a big difference in size? It doesn't specify on the website. Yes, there is a big difference in size. Let me see if I can pull mine out real quick. Quite honestly, Linda, I like the bigger one. Um, there they are. Well, I'll be ditched. Ah, here's the larger one. Whoopsie, here's the smaller one. I'm going to pull this up so you can get a good look at it. There we go. They are very different in size. They really are. I like the bigger one because what I do when I'm working with it, for example, on this project here, I'm just working with one set of templates, right? Wrong. So, yeah, you guys haven't seen me introduce these yet into this design. So what I like to do is I like to stagger the templates. And if I know what order I'm going to be stitching them in, I will actually put them into stitch order, just like this. I'm going to use this first, this second. Whoops, you can't see. Okay, this third, then I'm going to use this fourth and this fifth. And then I'm going to come back and use sixth and seventh. Okay, so it really helps keep it orderly. Plus, I can see the sizes so clearly right here. And this is the difference between the big one and the small one. So you'll get an idea here. You don't have this horizontal spacing where this one has so much more horizontal room. It just makes it easier to organize your templates when you're working on a project. And sizes, this one is 5 by 5. Okay. And this one is 6.5 by 8. If that helps to give you any idea. So it is the 6.5 by 8. I prefer. This is how they stack up on each other. Okay. Okay. I hope that helps, Linda. Like I said, I like the big one for being able to set up projects. This one today, it's not that important because I'm just using one set of templates. But when I'm using several sets of templates, lining them up like this just makes my life so much easier. Okay, so that is the template stand. And you can't have too many of them. Oh, terrible I am, huh? Okay, let's readjust here. I bring it back down a little bit. There we go. The racks are great, Lisa. They really are. Quite honestly, I use them both. I really do. Oh, Donna brings out a good point too. How much room do you have next to your machine? That is a good point. Okay, Carla says, I need more info on getting the template fused to stick to fabric. I've done practice, but love doing it. Have plans for using a lot more. Carla, get a hold of me, please, and we can go over that. Okay, so I know exactly your issue is with working with it. It has a lot to do with iron temperature, has a lot to do with thread content, et cetera, et cetera. It can go on and on. Okay. All right. Yeah, the racks are great. They really are in dye. I would get a larger one as well. They're not that expensive, guys. And anything we can do to make our lives easier or more efficient, it's worth the small cost. Okay? What I'll do is I will go here. Um, let's see. Here we go. I'm going to get the link for you guys. And we'll put it on here. We go. There. So that's the link to go ahead and get the racks. All right. Now we're going to take a look at our next step. That was our 7.5. Now we're going to move on to our 9.5. Now the 9.5 is going to be a lot easier because I don't have any traveling in it, guys. We're just going to come from tip to tip. And I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. We are going to come, let me back up here just so you understand. This is the 5.5 inch. And it is the even numbered 5.5 inch. So right here is the tip of our even numbered 5.5 inch. 5.5 inch all the way around. We're going to build this like this so that we don't have to do any traveling. Chris, I'll bet that makes you happy. Oh, Di, you're right. I will tell Stacy it would make a good giveaway. I would. Okay, so to do this one is going to be a little different because we're not going to line up like we did before down here. What we're going to do is we're going to line up so that we are 1/4 of an inch from each tip. Perfect. I'm going to come in, pull my thread up. Come on. I know it's in there. But just so you know, Janice, bobbin roulette this morning. I did not put a fresh one in. Okay. And one stitch in place. And nice and soft and slow. And stop right at that tip. Is that easy or what? I can't believe how well that went together and how easy it is to stitch. But what I like even more Just look at this secondary design. I am so excited about all the secondary designs we're getting out of here. I think maybe it's because I get to use a needle channel instead of a gauge. All right, so this side's already set up for me. I'm going to line up my vertical center here. I'm going to get the spacing gauge that I just dropped because it wouldn't be a good show without the spacing gauge. Hi, Jean, you made it from Mount Vernon. Aha. Carla said, great place for arrows. And you're absolutely right, Carla. It is. Arrows work really well to help us stay exactly where we need to be. I'm kind of old school. I think I probably depend on my spacing gauge a little more. Boy, my foot just doesn't want to make this pedal work right this morning smoothly. There we go. Gonna come across. We're gonna get all lined up here. Okay. I'm going to check with my spacing gauge. There we go. All the way down and stop right there. See how that's coming along? It amazes me. I would love to spend a day in Leonie West's mind. Okay, make sure that you're lined up. There we go. And what we are accomplishing here, I think, is much more than just doing a block with one template set. I think we're accomplishing so many cool designs in here. And you know what? Unless we try these things out, we don't know that these designs are going to exist. Yeah, just a few more guys. Now you'll see, look at how my fabric is getting ruffly, wobbly. It's getting drawn up quite a bit. But that's the nature of the beast. And what I do when that happens is I use my spray starch and press it down. I like to use a pressing cloth though. I know that sounds weird because that's very old fashioned. But the reason I like a pressing cloth is so that my threads don't get smushed. That's another one of my technical terms. They don't get flattened out. The other thing you can do is use a wool pressing mat and put the stitch side down, and you'll have fabric on the back because if you're doing a quilt as you go project, or if you're quilting, either way, your backing is already on. And that's going to help alleviate that wave around the outside of your block. There we go. I think this is our last one. You see how quickly this goes? If you weren't like me talking up a storm, you would have been done already. There we go. Could not decide whether I like that spot or not. There we go. This one we definitely do need to snip our threads off. What do you think, guys? It's getting better. Okay, let's see where we're at. Donna says she uses arrows all the time, and Carla said it is a good place for arrows. That is very true. I don't know what's happening here. Okay, my phone just started playing a song. I have no idea. I'll tell you, they're getting too sophisticated with their ads. Okay, Jean is going to watch the replay. It is a fun design, Jean. It really is. And because you're joining us late, I just want to fill you in a little bit on what it is. What we're doing is one big block with one set of templates, and they are Spin Effect 7. Lee said, I think the arrows will help you get close, but the spacing gets you right at the right point. And yeah, Lee, there's a lot of truth to that. But seriously, if you're good at placing your arrows and if you're good at knowing where exactly your foot and needle need to be in relation to the arrows, that's where I fall short. I still have a hard time seeing that. So, you guys are liking this. I'm liking it too. Susie says, I love how each individual round makes it more interesting. And that's Susie, that's exactly where I'm coming from with this. I just want you to see that you don't have to stop at one rotation. You can just keep going, keep going, keep going, and you don't know what you're going to end up with. Okay, so we've got one more. That was our 9.5 inch. Now we need to do our 11.5 inch. Now, what I didn't do was I did not do the 11.5 inch on my sample. You'll see this. And that's because I ran out of paper. But my philosophy, my thought process, here's my thought. You guys, if you really want to be in my brain for a second, which is a dangerous place, I'm not really sure you want to. My thought process is we have lots of curves, but we have very few points in this design. So what I want to do is I want to bring out a point. And do you know what? This one, I may have to use arrows because I don't have a particular point that I can use my spacing gauge in here. I don't think. Let me check. See. Of course, I could come down. If I do a 1/2 inch, that would give 1/4 inch here, but I want more space than that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to, actually, that's going to work, guys. I'm going to line it up as if I'm doing these spin effects in the opposite direction. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come from here to here or here to here. No, I'm going to come from here to here. Tell you why. Here to here, I would have to do too much traveling. Here, I don't have to do all that much traveling. And we're going to put something else in here that will detract from the traveling we're going to do. So I am again using every even numbered line. Even numbered reference line. Here's one, here's two. So let's go ahead and get that round started. Okay, Di, I guess you need to make marks with chalk if you press, or either lose the marking or set them permanently. Actually, Di, what I was referring to is after the project is done and you want to remove your lines anyway. Yeah, I don't do it during the construction of the block. I wait until I'm finished with it, okay? I should have specified that. All right, so I'm not gonna need this because I'm lining myself up here, and we're going to pull our thread up. Sure I'm spaced properly. Take that one stitch in place. Don't forget that hesitation stitch. If you're unsure of your ability for hesitation stitches yet, you will get to know them. Take heart. The other thing you can do is put your needle down and leave it there for one stitch and then move on. And you can stop to do that. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to go ahead and move my template around here. You see, I'm going to have a place that I can shoot for. I'm going to look at this and eyeball it. And if I go straight across here, let me show you what I mean. If I go straight across here with my rulers straight and true, what it should do is I should need to place my needle here for the next rotation. Okay, so it should come right about there. It's going to be just above that simply because I've got to have room for the ruler there. Okay, so I'm going to travel next. I'm going to stop about a stitch before I'm where I think I should be. And then I'm going to come in. Let's set up my ruler. No, because I'm on the wrong reference line. Did you see what I was doing, you guys? Oh my goodness, somebody had to whop me upside the head. Now what I'm doing is I'm making sure that I'm lined up here on all of these lines right here. And most importantly, this one. And I came out right where I needed to be. Now, I want to show you if you're unsure about traveling because you don't have enough practice at it, what you can do is take this guy out, put this guy in, line him up, use your spacing gauge. We should have put a sticker on here. Whoops, I slipped there. And then come out and replace it. See why I love the needle channels? It's so easy to get in and out. Lining myself up here. Beautiful. I'm going to show you again. This is so much easier than traveling free motion too. I'm going to be honest with you guys. And I'm going to line it up. Where am I lining it up to? There we go. There we go. Make sure I got my 1/4 inch set here and here. Need to move it out just a hair. Perfect there. right about there should do it. I wasn't perfect on my measurements there. I'm not gonna worry about that because remember, if this is, um, a finishing project, that thread is going to kind of just melt into the background here. All right. And it looks like I came in about 1 stitch long. Okay. Now in the interest of time, I'm gonna just do one more of these guys because I see that we're really running out of time. And I hate keeping you from important things like coffee. Yeah. Oh, I went too far. That's okay. And yeah, mine's okay loose. I thought I felt something a little weird here. Okay, this will be our last one. All right. You think we successfully did it one block, one template? Here it is. But I have one more little thing I wanna Oh, hi, Diane. Oh, you're so welcome. I like the points too, Linda. What I'm going to do is I'm gonna throw one more little design element at y'all. You already saw it on my paper. I'm not so crazy about this one, but I do love this one. I think it looks just so cool. And it doesn't have to be circles. You can use other shapes as well. The thing is just use shapes. Just go ahead, have fun with it, relax with it. And this is why I said I wasn't too overly concerned about how close my stitching was for the traveling on that one because we're going to put another layer of stitching on here. When I'm doing this, what I want you to notice is I am not putting my needle down in that line of stitching. I'm putting it down just at the edge, the inside edge of that line of stitching. And that way I avoid any accidents of coming outside of the traveling stitching that I already have here. Okay? These are things that we learn as we go along. And that's why when students ask me, what is the best advice I can give them? I'm sure a few of you have heard the answer to that question before. Linda, Chris, Debbie, you guys have all heard it. It's that P word, practice. Practice. There's no such thing as too much practice. So now what I'm doing is I'm just going to come around. Boy, am I stitching that circle fast, eh? All right. And this one has a gate. Gotta take it off. Gotta remove it. Oh, goodness. You gotta love them, huh? This is my circles between the lines. There we go. just a cute little embellishment on top of there. It's 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 not a lot. It's not difficult, but I think it just adds something whimsical to it. So let's do one more, okay, guys? And I'm gonna go ahead and cut you loose. And don't forget, today's Wednesday. Tomorrow we have our third quarter Elevate box launch. I know Stacy was talking about it during the meeting. I kept thinking she was saying lunch. Do you think I might have been hungry at the time? There we go. No, I'm going to be there tomorrow. Okay, and we'll get this one off and put this one on. I know that I whine about these things, but in reality, it doesn't take that long to take the gates in and out. I think the reason that I whine about them is I'm thinking Ken will tell me, "Oh, just go buy the ones with the gate with the needle channels." There we go. Okay, so this is done quickly, probably less careful than I normally would try to make it. But there we go. There's our design today, guys. Linda says she's just getting started on the second box. Oh, Lee, I wish I could tell you what they are, but you'll have to wait till tomorrow. I'm sorry. Donna, I really don't know if they've shipped yet or not. I really don't. Okay, Linda likes, yep, Linda likes the touch on the tips here that we've put in here, just like that. This is fun. This is fun stuff. To me, this is my playtime. And it's my time to connect with all of you. And I love doing that. I really do. For those of you that weren't here last night, and I've got to tell you, I owe you all a debt of gratitude. You've taken to my new class in unprecedented numbers. And I am just totally blown away by it. I really am. And I appreciate you so, so much. And I appreciate the fact that you give me a part of your busy day. That's important to me. So don't forget, like, subscribe, and share. Oh yeah, don't die. I'm gonna be there for a little bit. I'm not gonna probably not gonna be there all day, but I'll be there for a little bit. Like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget you can easily get a hold of me with my contact information. SoSteady.com under the Elevate box drop down menu is a list of instructors, and all of my contact information is on there. Thank you, Lee. I am actually going to go back to bed right now. I think a little more rest. And we will see you all tomorrow. So until then, let's quilt.